galaxy had seen countless weapons of war, droid armies that numbered in the billions, clone soldiers bred for obedience and combat efficiency, Jedi Knights who could redirect blaster fire with plasma blades and bend reality through the Force, Sith Lords whose power could choke the life from enemies across star systems. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared the Republic or the Separatists for what tore through the hull of the Venator-class Star Destroyer Resolute above the planet Christophsis. It wasn't a missile, it wasn't a torpedo, it was green, massive, and screaming with primal fury. The Hulk crashed through durasteel plating like it was paper, his entry creating a decompression breach that sucked battle droids and equipment into the void. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut, but the damage was done. Alarms shrieked through every corridor as the massive green figure landed in the main hangar bay, with such force that the deck plating buckled beneath his feet, creating a crater 6 meters wide. Clone troopers turned their blasters toward the intruder. The Hulk roared, a sound so visceral, so filled with rage, that it seemed to vibrate through the Force itself, making every Jedi within a dozen sectors flinch as if struck. The sound wasn't just noise, it was fury given voice, and it promised violence on a scale this galaxy had never witnessed. Hulk smash! The green giant's fists came down on a LAT gunship, crumpling the military-grade transport like a child's toy. Metal shrieked and engines exploded in cascades of flame. The Hulk grabbed a clone trooper who'd gotten too close, not to harm him, but to hurl him toward the safety of the exit, before returning his attention to the machinery around him. Everything that looked like a weapon, everything that reminded him of the military that had hunted him across his own world, became a target. In the Resolute's bridge, Captain Rex received the impossible report. "Sir, we have an intruder in the main hangar. Unknown species, massive physical strength. It's destroying everything." Anakin Skywalker was already running, Ahsoka Tano at his heels. Through the Force, he'd felt the disturbance. Not dark side, not light side, but something else entirely. Raw emotion, pure, unfiltered rage mixed with something deeper, pain, confusion, fear beneath the fury. When they reached the hangar's observation deck, both Jedi stopped dead. The Hulk stood amid absolute destruction. Gunships were overturned, their hulls torn open. Battle droids sent to subdue him lay in pieces, their photoreceptors dark. A few brave or foolish clone troopers were still firing, their blaster bolts striking the green giant's chest and arms with no visible effect. The energy that should have burned flesh simply dissipated against skin that seemed harder than durasteel. What is that?" Ahsoka breathed. Anakin reached out through the Force, trying to sense the creature's intentions. What he found made him take an involuntary step back. The being wasn't empty like a droid. It was alive, intensely, overwhelmingly alive. But its mind was a maelstrom of rage that the Force couldn't penetrate, couldn't influence. It was like trying to grip smoke or calm a supernova. "I don't know," Anakin admitted, "but we need to stop it before it tears the ship apart." The Hulk grabbed a massive cargo container and hurled it with such force that it punched through the reinforced hangar doors, sailing into space. His chest heaved with each breath, eyes scanning for more threats, more weapons, more things to destroy. Somewhere deep inside, Bruce Banner was screaming for control, but the Hulk was too angry, too confused by this strange place, with its strange people and their strange weapons. Then he saw them, 2 figures with glowing swords, standing on a platform above him. The smaller one, orange-skinned with strange head tails, looked afraid. The taller one, dressed in dark robes, had his hand on the hilt of his blade, but hadn't drawn it yet. The Hulk's eyes narrowed. More people who wanted to hurt him. More people who wanted to study him. Control him, use him as a weapon. "Leave Hulk alone," he bellowed and leaped. The jump carried him 40 meters straight up, defying the ship's artificial gravity as if it were meaningless. Anakin barely had time to ignite his lightsaber before the Hulk's fist came down where he'd been standing, cratering the observation deck's durasteel floor. The entire section groaned under the impact. Ahsoka struck with both lightsabers, the green plasma blades cutting toward the Hulk's arm. They made contact and stopped. The energy sizzled against his skin, causing the Hulk to roar in annoyance more than pain, but the blades couldn't cut through. It was as if she were trying to slice through a solid block of cortosis, or something even more resilient. "Lightsabers aren't working," Ahsoka shouted, disengaging and rolling away as the Hulk's backhand swipe demolished a computer terminal. Anakin reached out through the Force, trying a force push. Energy rippled outward, strong enough to send battle droids flying, strong enough to knock down durasteel doors. It hit the Hulk square in the chest. The green giant took one step backward from the impact. Then he grinned, a terrifying expression of anticipation and challenge. "That all you got?" The Hulk's voice was deep, rumbling, tinged with mockery. He charged. What followed wasn't a fight, it was a natural disaster contained in a humanoid form. Anakin and Ahsoka used every ounce of their Jedi training, their force-enhanced reflexes allowing them to dodge blows that would have pulverized them. But they couldn't hurt him, couldn't slow him down, couldn't even make him hesitate. Every strike with their lightsabers was brushed aside. Every force push was shrugged off. The Hulk caught Anakin's lightsaber between his palms, the plasma blade burning against his skin but not cutting through. He squeezed, and the kyber crystal inside the hilt cracked under the pressure. The blade sputtered and died. Before the Hulk could follow through, Obi-Wan Kenobi arrived with a full squadron of clone troopers. "Everyone fall back. This is beyond our capability." But the Hulk had stopped. He stood there, chest heaving, looking at the broken lightsaber in his hand. Something in Bruce Banner's consciousness was pushing through the rage, showing the Hulk that these people, these strange people with their glowing swords and energy rifles, had been defending themselves. He'd attacked first. The Hulk dropped the broken weapon. His massive form began to shrink, green fading to a more normal skin tone, muscles compacting, rage subsiding into exhaustion. Within seconds, a naked, unconscious human man lay in the crater where the monster had stood. Obi-Wan approached cautiously, his lightsaber still ignited. "Get medical down here and find something to cover him. Whatever just happened, we need answers." Above Christophsis, the battle between Republic and Separatist forces continued. But aboard the Resolute, in a hangar bay that looked like it had been hit by an orbital bombardment, the Jedi stood around an unconscious man who had just demonstrated that there were forces in the universe the Force itself couldn't control. If you want to see more characters enter the Star Wars galaxy, hit that subscribe button and drop the name of a character you'd want to see in the comments below. May the Force be with you. In the medbay, as medical droids worked to assess the strange human's condition, none of them noticed the faint green glow beneath his skin. Gamma radiation still pulsing through his cells, ready to erupt again the moment Bruce Banner felt threatened. The Clone Wars had just become infinitely more complicated. Bruce Banner woke to the hum of unfamiliar machinery and the antiseptic smell of a medical facility. His eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the soft blue lighting overhead. For a moment, he simply lay there, taking inventory. No pain, no injuries, no gamma radiation burns on his skin, despite what the Hulk had just endured. Then the memories hit him. The experimental gamma wave emitter he'd been testing in the Arctic research facility. The unexpected energy surge. A blinding green light that had torn reality itself open, and the sensation of being pulled through dimensions, through space, through something his scientific mind couldn't even begin to categorize. Then the rage, always the rage, and the Hulk taking control as he crashed into what? Bruce sat up carefully, wincing at the unfamiliar weight of the thin medical gown he wore. The room around him was like nothing he'd ever seen. Curved walls made of some matte gray metal, holographic displays floating in midair showing what appeared to be his vital signs in a language he couldn't read. A transparent barrier of shimmering energy separated him from the rest of the medical facility. "You're awake." The voice came from beyond the barrier. A man with reddish-brown hair and a neatly trimmed beard stood there, dressed in tan and brown robes that looked simultaneously ancient and practical. Behind him, a younger man with a mechanical hand and a scar over his right eye watched with barely concealed suspicion. Bruce's scientific mind immediately began cataloging details. Advanced technology, unfamiliar aesthetic. The mechanical hand looked far more sophisticated than anything Earth's prosthetics industry had produced. The energy barrier holding him, definitely not terrestrial science. "Where am I?" Bruce asked, his voice hoarse. "And please, before you answer, I need to know, did I kill anyone when the Hulk was in control?" Obi-Wan Kenobi exchanged a glance with Anakin Skywalker. The question itself was telling. The creature, Hulk, apparently, and this fragile-looking human were the same being. Somehow. "You destroyed significant portions of our ship's hangar bay," Obi-Wan said carefully. "Several clone troopers were injured, but none fatally. You seemed selective in your violence. Machinery bore the brunt of your rage." Bruce closed his eyes, relief washing over him. "Thank God, He stopped, looking around again. "I don't even know where I am. This isn't Earth. This isn't even Earth's solar system. Is it?" "Earth?" Anakin spoke for the first time. "Never heard of it. What system is that in?" "You've never..." Bruce's scientific mind reeled. Okay, let's approach this methodically. I'm Bruce Banner. I'm from a planet called Earth in the Milky Way galaxy. I was conducting an experiment with gamma radiation when something went catastrophically wrong. I think I was pulled through some kind of dimensional rift or wormhole, which means I'm either in an alternate dimension or... He looked at the technology around him, the casual way these men spoke of ships and systems, or I'm very, very far from home. Obi-Wan stroked his beard thoughtfully. In all his years as a Jedi, studying the mysteries of the Force and the vastness of the galaxy, he'd never encountered anything quite like this. The Force was present in all living things, connecting the galaxy in an invisible web of energy. But this man, this Bruce Banner, existed outside that web in a way that was deeply unsettling. "You're aboard the Resolute, a Republic Star Destroyer," Obi-Wan explained. "We're currently in orbit above Christophsis, engaged in a military conflict with Separatist forces. The year by our calendar is 21 BBY. As for your Earth and Milky Way, I've traveled extensively across this galaxy and I've never heard those names. which suggests you're correct about the dimensional displacement. Bruce processed this information with the analytical precision of a man with 7 PhDs. Alternate dimension, advanced spacefaring civilization, military conflict, and he'd arrived in the middle of it in the worst possible way. "The creature you saw," Bruce said quietly, "the green, the Hulk. That's me. Or rather, that's what I become when I'm angry or threatened. It's a long story involving gamma radiation, a suicide attempt that went wrong, and a psychological split that manifests as a separate consciousness with virtually unlimited strength. I've been trying to control it for years, but in a new environment with new stimuli." He looked at his hands. "I'm sorry for the damage. I'll help repair it however I can." "Your transformation," Anakin said, stepping closer to the energy barrier. "I tried to sense your intentions through the Force. I couldn't. It was like trying to grab water. What are you?" "The Force?" Bruce's scientific curiosity sparked despite the situation. "Is that some kind of energy field, quantum level? Does it interact with biological systems? And more importantly, why couldn't you sense me through it?" Ahsoka Tano entered the medical bay, carrying a data pad. She stopped when she saw Bruce was conscious, her hand instinctively moving toward her lightsaber before she controlled the impulse. "He's awake?" she asked Obi-Wan. "And surprisingly articulate," Obi-Wan confirmed. "Bruce Banner, this is my former Padawan, Ahsoka Tano. You destroyed her lightsaber during your episode." "I'm sorry," Bruce said immediately, looking at the young Togruta. "I'll help replace it. Though I don't understand your technology yet, I'm a fast learner. Multiple doctorates in physics, biochemistry, nuclear engineering." "Multiple doctorates?" Anakin interrupted. "You're a scientist?" "One of Earth's leading experts in gamma radiation and nuclear physics," Bruce confirmed. "Which is ironic, considering what that expertise did to me." He looked at each of them in turn. "Look, I understand you have no reason to trust me. I appeared out of nowhere, destroyed part of your ship, and I carry within me something that can't be controlled by your Force, but I'm not here by choice, and I'm not your enemy. If anything, I need your help." Obi-Wan made a decision. He'd spent decades learning to trust his instincts, and his instincts, despite the earlier violence, told him this man was being truthful. More than that, the vulnerability in Banner's voice, the genuine remorse, spoke to someone who'd been struggling with their curse for a very long time. "Lower the containment field," Obi-Wan instructed the medical droid. "Master, are you sure?" Ahsoka protested. "We don't know what will trigger another transformation. Which is why we're going to treat Dr. Banner as a guest, not a prisoner," Obi-Wan said firmly. "Fear and confinement will only make the situation worse." The energy barrier dissipated. Bruce stood slowly, aware that every movement was being watched. He was shorter than all three of them, unassuming in his medical gown, looking more like a nervous academic than the monster who'd torn through their ship. "Thank you," Bruce said. "I know that's a risk." "The Jedi take many risks," Obi-Wan replied. "It's part of our code. Now, Dr. Banner, I think we need to have a longer conversation about your condition, your world, and what brought you here. But first, let's find you some proper clothing. You can't wander the ship like that." As they walked through the corridors of the Resolute, Bruce marveled at everything. The technology was decades, no centuries, beyond Earth's. Holographic displays showed tactical information about a space battle that was apparently ongoing. Clone troopers in white armor snapped to attention as the Jedi passed. Through viewport windows, he could see dozens of triangular ships engaged in combat with spherical vessels, energy weapons creating brilliant flashes against the darkness of space. "This conflict you mentioned," Bruce said. "How long has it been going on?" 2 years, Anakin answered. "The Separatists want to break away from the Republic. We're trying to hold the galaxy together." "A civil war." Bruce's expression darkened. "I've seen what war does to people. On my world, we've had too many. And every one of them creates more anger, more violence, more..." He stopped himself. "I should be careful what I say. The Hulk feeds on anger, not just mine, anyone's nearby. If I'm surrounded by soldiers in combat, by people experiencing fear and rage, it makes it harder for me to maintain control." This information made all 3 Jedi pause. "Your transformation responds to ambient emotional energy," Obi-Wan asked sharply. "Not just your own emotions?" "To a degree," Bruce confirmed. "My own anger is the primary trigger, but I've noticed the Hulk is stronger, more aggressive when I'm near conflict. It's like he absorbs the violence around him and amplifies it." Anakin and Obi-Wan exchanged a look heavy with implication. They were in the middle of a galaxy-spanning war. Every day brought new battles, new casualties, new waves of anger and fear across countless worlds. If Banner's condition was truly responsive to surrounding emotional turmoil, then placing him in the Clone Wars was like dropping a match into an ammunition depot. Before anyone could respond, the ship shuddered. Red alert klaxons began blaring. "All hands to battle stations," a clone officer's voice announced over the intercom. "Separatist frigates breaking through the defensive line. Prepare for possible boarding action." Bruce felt it immediately, a spike of adrenaline, his heart rate increasing, not from his own fear, but from the sudden surge of combat readiness throughout the ship. Thousands of soldiers preparing for battle, their determination and aggression flooding the environment around him. His hands began to tremble. "No," Bruce whispered, "not now, not here." His skin was already starting to shift, a faint green tint spreading from his chest. Obi-Wan saw it and made a split-second decision. "Anakin, Ahsoka, get him to the meditation chamber now. It's shielded, quiet, isolated from the ship's main sections." But they were too late. Bruce Banner's eyes flashed green as the Hulk roared back to life. The transformation happened faster this time. Bruce's body expanded explosively, his medical gown tearing away as green muscle mass erupted from beneath fragile human skin. In 3 seconds, the Hulk stood in the corridor, 8 feet of pure gamma-powered rage, his head nearly touching the ceiling. But this time, something was different. The Hulk didn't attack. He stood there, fists clenched, breathing heavily, his eyes darting between the 3 Jedi with something that looked almost like recognition. The monster remembered them, remembered that the man with the beard had shown kindness, had released him from the cage when he could have kept him prisoner. "Hulk, not want to fight," the green giant rumbled, each word clearly an effort. "Banner say these ones, not enemies." Anakin's hand had moved to his lightsaber hilt, but he hadn't drawn it. Obi-Wan held up a restraining hand, his voice calm and measured. "We're not your enemies, Hulk. We're trying to help Bruce. Help you." "Can't help Hulk." The green giant's voice rose in frustration. "Nobody helps Hulk. They study Hulk, hunt Hulk, make Hulk into weapon." His fist slammed into the corridor wall, and Durasteel buckled like aluminum foil. The impact sent vibrations through the entire deck. Ahsoka watched in fascination and terror as the Hulk struggled with himself. She could see it now. The conflict wasn't just between Banner and the Hulk. It was within the Hulk himself. Part of him wanted to smash everything, to rage against this confusing new reality. But another part, buried deep beneath the anger, remembered Bruce's desperate plea not to hurt anyone. "You're scared?" Ahsoka said suddenly, her voice gentle despite the massive creature looming over them. "Aren't you? You don't know where you are. Everything's strange and new, and when you're scared, you get angry." The Hulk's eyes focused on her with surprising intelligence. "Hulk not scared. Hulk strongest there is." "Being strong doesn't mean you can't be scared," Ahsoka continued, taking a careful step forward despite Obi-Wan's warning gesture. "I'm scared sometimes too. We all are. That's okay." The ship shuddered again, more violently. Somewhere nearby, an explosion rocked the Resolute. The Separatist boarding craft had made contact. The Hulk's head snapped toward the sound, his nostrils flaring. People fighting, hurting each other. His hands clenched tighter. Makes Hulk angrier. His body swelled further, muscles bulging with additional mass as the ambient combat rage fed his transformation. This was the danger Bruce had warned them about. The Hulk didn't just respond to his own anger. He absorbed and amplified the violence around him. "We need to get him away from the fighting," Anakin said urgently, "before he becomes unstoppable." "Too late for that, I think," Obi-Wan replied, watching the Hulk grow. "He may already be unstoppable." The Hulk turned and began moving toward the sounds of combat, his massive feet leaving dents in the deck, plating with each step. Clone troopers rounded the corner ahead, falling back from a wave of B-1 battle droids that had breached the hull. Blaster fire filled the corridor with brilliant red and blue energy bolts. "Contact! Droids in Section 7!" a clone captain shouted. "We need reinforcements." He stopped mid-sentence as the Hulk barreled past the Jedi and into the firefight. The battle droid's photoreceptors registered the massive green target and immediately redirected their fire. Dozens of blaster bolts slammed into the Hulk's chest, arms, and face. The energy that could burn through Durasteel plating simply scorched his skin, leaving marks that faded within seconds as his healing factor kicked in. "Hulk, smash metal men!" The green giant grabbed the nearest B-1 droid and tore it in half like paper. Sparks flew as circuits shorted, and the droid's vocabulator let out a comical, "Oh no!" before going dark. The Hulk used the two halves as clubs, swinging them in wide arcs that sent other droids flying in pieces. A B-2 super battle droid, more heavily armored and dangerous, emerged from the breach. Its wrist rockets locked onto the Hulk and fired. The explosive hit the green giant square in the chest, detonating with enough force to destroy a small vehicle. The smoke cleared. The Hulk stood in the exact same spot, a scorch mark on his chest that was already fading. He looked down at the mark, then back at the B-2 with an expression of genuine offense. "That tickled," he charged. The B-2's reinforced armor, designed to withstand anti-tank weapons, crumpled like foil when the Hulk's fist connected. The droid went flying backward through the breach it had come from, sailing out into space and colliding with a Separatist boarding craft hard enough to send the vessel spinning off course. Clone troopers watched in stunned silence as the Hulk proceeded to systematically destroy every droid that entered the corridor. His movements were raw, unrefined, but devastatingly effective. A punch that could shatter mountains made short work of battle droid armor. When a group of droidecas rolled into position and activated their shields, the Hulk simply grabbed one by its shield generator and used it to batter the others into scrap. "Is he helping us?" one clone asked, bewildered. "I think so," Anakin replied, equally amazed. In his own way. But Obi-Wan saw the problem developing. With each droid the Hulk destroyed, with each act of violence, the gamma-powered giant was growing larger, angrier. The ambient aggression of the battle fed him, and he fed on it in turn, creating a feedback loop. The tactical display on a nearby wall showed more Separatist ships approaching. If the battle intensified, if the Hulk continued to absorb the violence, there would be no stopping him. "We need to end this engagement quickly," Obi-Wan said into his comlink. "Admiral Yularen, status report." "The Separatist boarding action is failing, sir," the Admiral's voice crackled back. "We've repelled them at all entry points, though according to reports we've got some kind of war machine. It's destroying droids by the dozens in Section 7. "That's one of ours," Obi-Wan said carefully. "For now." Through the breach, they could see space beyond, and the Hulk saw it too. Saw the Separatist ships out there, the source of the metal men who'd attacked him. Without hesitation, without consideration for the vacuum of space, or the fact that he was on a spaceship, the Hulk crouched and jumped. "No!" Anakin shouted, but it was too late. The Hulk launched himself through the breach and into space, his trajectory carrying him toward the nearest Separatist frigate. Clone pilots in the hangar bay watched in disbelief as the massive green figure sailed past their viewports, moving through the vacuum with no apparent difficulty. "Can he survive in space?" Ahsoka asked, horrified and fascinated in equal measure. "According to what Banner told us, his body adapts to survive almost anything," Obi-Wan replied. "But I didn't think that extended to vacuum exposure." They watched through the breach as the Hulk collided with the Separatist frigate's hull. The impact would have killed any normal being. The Hulk simply grabbed onto the hull plating and began tearing into it with his bare hands, ripping through the reinforced durasteel like it was cardboard. On the bridge of the Separatist frigate, alarms screamed as hull integrity warnings flashed red. "Sir, we have a hull breach," a tactical droid reported to its commander, "but sensors show no torpedo impact, no missile strike. Something is tearing through the outer hull with physical force." "That's impossible," the Neimoidian captain sputtered. "Nothing can—" The Hulk punched through the deck plating beneath him and emerged into the frigate's main corridor. Atmosphere rushed out through the breach behind him, but emergency bulkheads slammed shut, containing the damage. The Hulk stood there, surrounded by panicking battle droids, and roared so loudly that the ship's hull vibrated. What followed wasn't a battle, it was a demolition. The Hulk tore through the Separatist frigate like a force of nature, destroying everything in his path. Bulkheads crumpled, weapon systems exploded. The ship's reactor core shielding, designed to contain massive amounts of energy, held for approximately 30 seconds before the Hulk's fists breached it. Back on the Resolute, every sensor officer watched in disbelief as the Separatist frigate's power signature began fluctuating wildly. "Sir," one officer reported to Admiral Yularen, "the enemy frigate is experiencing multiple internal explosions. Its reactor is destabilizing. They're losing structural integrity across all decks." "Are we doing this?" Yularen demanded. "Do we have a strike team aboard?" "No, sir. We have one very angry individual aboard." The Hulk emerged from another breach in the Separatist hull, carrying what appeared to be the frigate's main power coupling, a cylindrical device the size of a small vehicle. He looked at it, crushed it in his hands like a tin can. and threw it toward another Separatist ship. The power coupling, still containing residual energy, struck the second ship's bridge and exploded. The ship listed, its command structure compromised. The remaining Separatist vessels, demonstrating the cold, tactical logic of droid commanders, immediately calculated that discretion was the better part of valor. They began retreating into hyperspace, unwilling to engage an enemy that could apparently survive in vacuum and tear apart military vessels with bare hands. The Hulk, floating in space, watched them flee. His rage began to subside. Without enemies to fight, without violence to feed on, the anger that fueled his transformation started to ebb. His body began to shrink. "Get a tractor beam on him," Obi-Wan ordered, "before he reverts completely and suffocates." The Resolute's tractor beam locked onto the shrinking figure and pulled him back towards the ship. By the time he passed through the emergency atmospheric shield, in the hangar bay, Bruce Banner lay unconscious on the deck, naked and vulnerable, his body once again human. Medical droids rushed forward with a thermal blanket, while Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka descended to the hangar via turbo lift. "He just destroyed an entire Separatist frigate," Ahsoka said, still processing what she'd witnessed. "Single-handedly, in less than 5 minutes. And survived in the vacuum of space," Anakin added. "I've never seen anything like that, not even from the most powerful Force users." Obi-Wan knelt beside Bruce's unconscious form, checking his pulse, strong and steady, as if he'd simply been sleeping rather than experiencing the physical impossibility of vacuum exposure. "Dr. Banner's condition is unlike anything in our experience," Obi-Wan said quietly. "The Force connects all living things, flows through them, guides them. But the Hulk exists outside that connection. He's pure physical power, untempered by the Force's balance. In a galaxy at war, surrounded by constant violence and rage. He's a weapon," Anakin finished. "The most powerful weapon we've ever seen." "Or the most dangerous threat," Obi-Wan countered. "It depends entirely on whether Bruce Banner can maintain control, and whether we can provide an environment where that control is possible." Bruce's eyes flickered open, confusion and horror, crossing his face as the memories of what the Hulk had done flooded back. He started, his voice barely a whisper. "Did I kill anyone this time?" "Only droids," Ahsoka assured him gently. "You saved us, drove off the Separatists." Bruce closed his eyes, relief and guilt warring on his face. "I'm sorry. I warned you it would be hard to control in combat situations. The anger, the violence, it feeds the Hulk, makes him stronger." "We noticed," Obi-Wan said dryly. "Dr. Banner, we need to discuss your immediate future. The Jedi Council will want to speak with you, as will undoubtedly Republic intelligence. A being with your capabilities appearing during wartime." He let the implications hang in the air. Bruce understood. "You're worried they'll try to weaponize me, turn the Hulk into a soldier. Or that the Separatists will," Anakin said. "That frigate transmitted data before you destroyed it. They know about you now. Both sides will want you." Bruce Banner, scientist and reluctant monster, looked up at the strange stars visible through the hangar's atmospheric shield. He was trapped in an alien galaxy, in the middle of a war that wasn't his, carrying a curse that made him the most dangerous being in sight. "Then," Bruce said quietly, "we'd better make sure nobody gets what they want, because the one thing I've learned is that the Hulk isn't a weapon. He's a warning about what happens when you try to control the uncontrollable. The holographic image of Count Dooku flickered to life in the command chamber of the Separatist dreadnought Invisible Hand. The elegant Sith Lord stood with his hands clasped behind his back, his expression one of calculated interest as he reviewed the combat footage from Christophsis. "Replay it again," Dooku commanded. The hologram showed the impossible. A massive green creature tearing through a military frigate's hull with bare hands, surviving in vacuum, destroying advanced war machinery as if it were constructed of parchment. The tactical droids had calculated the being's strength output at levels that exceeded their measurement parameters. The phrase, "beyond calculation," appeared multiple times in their analysis. General Grievous, standing beside Dooku, leaned forward with predatory interest. His mechanical eyes tracked every movement of the green giant, analyzing combat patterns, threat assessment, potential vulnerabilities. "Magnificent," Grievous rasped, his vocabulator adding metallic overtones to the word. "Such raw power, such ferocity. I must face this creature in combat." "You will do no such thing," Dooku said firmly. "At least, not yet. This being, this Hulk, represents something far more valuable than a trophy for your collection." He gestured, and the hologram zoomed in on Bruce Banner's human form after the transformation. The tactical droids identified this as the same individual. Somehow, this fragile human becomes that unstoppable monster. "A transformation ability?" Grievous scoffed. "The Jedi have their force tricks. This is merely another—" "No." Dooku's tones cut through the general's dismissal. "Watch carefully. When the Jedi attempted to use the Force on the creature, it had no effect. None whatsoever. The being exists outside the Force's influence." That got Grievous's attention. His mechanical body shifted, photoreceptors brightening. Immune to Force manipulation. So it would appear. Dooku stroked his beard thoughtfully. The Republic has stumbled upon something unprecedented, a being of immense physical power that cannot be controlled through the Force. In the hands of the Jedi, such an asset could turn the tide of this war, unless— his eyes glinted with dark calculation. "Unless we acquire him first." The creature seemed hostile to both Republic and Separatist forces. A tactical droid noted. "Probability assessment suggests he is unaligned." "Even better," Dooku smiled coldly. "Unaligned means persuadable. And where Jedi might appeal to heroism and morality, we can offer something more compelling." "Credits?" Grievous suggested. "Mercenaries are simple to motivate." "No, you mechanical fool, not credits." Dooku pulled up another file. Intelligence reports on Bruce Banner's limited transmissions, his desperate questions about returning home, his horror at what he'd become. Dr. Banner wants to cure himself. He wants to control or eliminate his condition. We offer him what the Republic cannot: the resources of the galaxy's finest scientific minds, unfettered by ethical oversight or Jedi interference. We promise him a cure, and in exchange, he fights for the Separatist alliance. Grievous finished, appreciation entering his mechanical voice. "Brilliant, my lord, but will he believe us? He's a scientist trapped in an alien galaxy, terrified of the monster within him, surrounded by warrior monks who view the universe through the lens of the Force, something he cannot understand or access." Dooku's smile widened. "Yes, General, I believe he'll be quite receptive to an alternative." Dooku turned to the tactical droid. "Dispatch our best infiltration team to Christophsis. I want surveillance on this Bruce Banner at all times. monitor his interactions with the Jedi, his emotional state, his weaknesses. When the opportunity presents itself, we will make contact. And if he refuses, the tactical droid asked, then we ensure the Jedi cannot keep him either. Dooku's expression hardened. If the Hulk will not serve us, he serves no one. The Republic is already struggling to hold the galaxy together. Imagine their predicament when an uncontrollable monster begins rampaging through their core worlds. Grievous laughed, a harsh, mechanical sound. Chaos serves our purposes nearly as well as alliance. Indeed, Dooku dismissed the hologram. But I suspect Dr. Banner will be more reasonable than his alter ego. Scientists, in my experience, are pragmatists, and right now, pragmatism suggests that the Separatists can offer him something the Republic cannot: a way home. In the shadows of the chamber, neither Dooku nor Grievous noticed the second transmission being sent, this one directly to Coruscant, to a private channel accessible only by one individual. The holographic figure of Darth Sidious materialized briefly in a secured alcove, reviewing the same footage with far more sinister interest. So, Sidious murmured to himself, the Force reveals its mysteries in unexpected ways, a being immune to its influence, carrying power that rivals the ancient Sith. His yellow eyes gleamed. Count Dooku sees a weapon. General Grievous sees a challenge. But I see an opportunity far greater than either comprehends. The hologram winked out, leaving only darkness and possibility. Meanwhile, aboard the Resolute, Bruce Banner sat in the quarters that had been hastily assigned to him, wearing clone trooper utility clothing that almost fit his smaller frame. The room was sparse but functional. A bunk, a small desk, a viewport showing the stars beyond Christophsis. It reminded him painfully of the various safe houses and hidden laboratories he'd occupied on Earth, always moving, always hiding. A chime at his door. "Come in," Bruce called. Anakin Skywalker entered, carrying a tray with what appeared to be food and a steaming mug of some beverage. "Thought you might be hungry. You've been asleep for 6 hours." 6 hours? Bruce accepted the tray gratefully, his stomach reminding him that transforming into the Hulk and back burned enormous amounts of calories. "Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was a guest or a prisoner." "Obi-Wan insisted on guest," Anakin said, settling into the room's only chair. "The Council, they're less certain. You're unprecedented, Dr. Banner, a being the Force cannot touch, carrying destructive power beyond anything we've encountered. Some of them are afraid." "They should be." Bruce took a sip of the beverage. Some kind of herbal tea, surprisingly pleasant. "I'm afraid too. Every day, every transformation, I worry that one day the Hulk won't give control back. That Bruce Banner will just disappear and only the monster will remain." Anakin studied him carefully. The man before him looked nothing like the creature that had torn apart a Separatist frigate. He was thin, nervous, his hands trembling slightly as he held the mug. But those eyes, there was profound intelligence there and a sadness that Anakin recognized from his own mirror. "The Hulk called you Banner," Anakin said. "He spoke about you like you were separate from him, are you? Or is he just a different aspect of you?" Bruce set down the mug, considering the question with the care of someone who'd spent years in therapy trying to answer it. "Both. Neither. The Hulk has his own consciousness, his own wants and fears. But he's born from my anger, my trauma, my repressed rage at a universe that's treated me poorly. He's me without inhibition, without the rational mind that tells me to control myself, to hold back. He looked at his hands. On my world, I'm considered a monster, a threat. The military hunts me. Scientists want to study me. Everyone wants to use the Hulk for their own purposes, and nobody cares about Bruce Banner. That won't happen here, Anakin said firmly. Won't it? Bruce met his eyes. You're at war. Both sides will see the Hulk as a weapon. The Republic will want me fighting Separatists. The Separatists will want me fighting the Republic, and somewhere in the middle, Bruce Banner, the man who just wants to cure himself and go home, will disappear. Anakin wanted to argue, but he couldn't. Banner was right. The Jedi Council's transmission had already included phrases like strategic asset and potential tactical deployment. Chancellor Palpatine himself had expressed interest in meeting this extraordinary being. The Republic's machinery was already moving to categorize, analyze, and utilize the Hulk. What if I told you there might be another option? Anakin said slowly. The Force can't control you, but maybe it could help you. The Jedi have techniques for managing anger, for finding inner peace. Maybe I've tried meditation, Bruce interrupted gently. Yoga, breathing exercises, therapy, medication. Nothing works, Anakin, because the Hulk isn't just anger. He's a fundamental part of me that gamma radiation gave physical form. You can't meditate away a piece of your soul. Before Anakin could respond, the ship's intercom crackled to life. General Skywalker, report to the bridge immediately. We have a situation. Anakin stood quickly. Stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka. What's happening? I don't know. But in my experience, situation usually means something's trying to kill us. As Anakin left, Bruce moved to the viewport, looking out at the alien stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, or at least the dimension that contained Earth. He was further from home than any human had ever been, not just in distance, but in reality itself. His reflection in the viewport showed a tired, scared man, but beneath the reflection, faint and barely visible, he could see the green tint in his eyes. The Hulk was always there, always watching, always waiting for the next threat. We're not weapons, Bruce whispered to his reflection. We're not monsters. We're just lost. The Hulk's voice rumbled in his mind, quieter than usual, but still present. Hulk not lost. Hulk knows what he is. Question is, does Banner? On the Resolute's bridge, Obi-Wan and Anakin studied the tactical display with growing concern. An unmarked ship had dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the system, too small to be a warship, too sophisticated to be a civilian transport. It's broadcasting Republic codes, Admiral Yularen reported, but they're outdated by 6 months. Could be a compromised vessel. Or a trap, Obi-Wan said. Hail them. Demand identification. The communication channel opened, revealing a hooded figure whose face remained in shadow. Venator-class Star Destroyer Resolute. This is Independent Courier Designation Gray 7. I have a message for the individual known as Bruce Banner. It concerns his potential return to his home dimension. Every head on the bridge turned. Obi-Wan's hand moved instinctively to his lightsaber. How do you know that name? Anakin demanded. And how could you possibly know about dimensional travel? The Separatist Alliance knows many things, General Skywalker. The figure's voice was smooth, cultured, tinged with amusement. We've been analyzing the energy signature of Dr. Banner's arrival. Our scientists believe they can replicate the dimensional rift that brought him here. We can send him home. In exchange for what? Obi-Wan asked coldly. A conversation. Nothing more. Allow Dr. Banner to hear our offer. If he refuses, we will depart peacefully. We're scientists, not warriors. We simply believe that Dr. Banner deserves to know all his options. The transmission ended. Anakin and Obi-Wan looked at each other, both recognizing the trap, but unable to ignore the bait. If the Separatists truly could send Banner home, keeping that information from him would be unconscionable, but allowing Separatist agents near someone of the Hulk's power was asking for disaster. "It's Dooku," Obi-Wan said quietly. "This has his manipulation written all over it. Offer hope, create doubt, divide our resolve." "But what if they're telling the truth?" Anakin countered. "What if they can send him home? Don't we owe it to Banner to at least let him hear it? And when they demand he transform into the Hulk and destroy Republic targets in exchange for passage home, what then?" Before Anakin could answer, the door to the bridge opened. Bruce Banner stood there, having apparently overridden the lock on his quarters. His expression was intense, focused, the look of a man who'd heard something impossible. "Did they just say they could send me home?" Bruce asked, his voice tight with desperate hope. Obi-Wan closed his eyes briefly. The trap had been sprung, and they were all caught in it. "Dr. Banner," Obi-Wan began carefully, "you need to understand." "I understand perfectly." Bruce's hands were shaking again, but this time not from fear, from possibility. "I understand that I've been trapped in an alien galaxy, that my presence here endangers everyone around me, and that someone just offered me a way home. So unless you're going to tell me they're lying, I think I deserve to hear what they have to say." Anakin stepped forward. "Bruce, this is manipulation. The Separatists aren't offering this out of kindness. They want something in return, and that something is the Hulk." "Maybe," Bruce admitted, "but maybe they also recognize that I'm not a weapon or a prize to be claimed. Maybe they understand that the best solution for everyone is for me to go home." He looked between the two Jedi. "Are you going to stop me from talking to them?" It was the question neither wanted to answer, because stopping him would mean admitting they wanted to keep him here, to use him, to make him part of the Republic's war machine. It would prove everything Bruce feared about how he'd be treated. Obi-Wan made the decision. "You can speak with them, but not alone and not on their ship. We'll arrange a neutral meeting location. Christophsis has neutral zones where Republic and Separatist representatives have met before under truce flags. And if their offer is genuine," Bruce pressed, "if they really can send me home, then we'll let you go," Obi-Wan said, though the words clearly cost him. "The Jedi don't keep prisoners, Dr. Banner. We're not your jailers." Bruce nodded slowly. "Thank you. I know you could force the issue. I appreciate that you're not." As Bruce left the bridge, Ahsoka emerged from where she'd been listening. "Master, you can't seriously be considering letting him meet with Separatists. It's obviously a trap." "Of course it's a trap," Obi-Wan agreed. "But sometimes, Ahsoka, the only way to disarm a trap is to spring it on your own terms." He turned to the tactical display, his expression hardening into determination. "If Count Dooku wants to play games with Dr. Banner's hope, he'll discover that the Hulk isn't the only force in this galaxy that should be feared." The neutral zone on Christophsis was a bombed-out plaza that had once been a marketplace. Now it served as disputed territory between Republic and Separatist lines, a no-man's land where temporary truces could be arranged under the watchful censors of both sides. Rubble from destroyed buildings created natural barriers and the skeletal remains of a fountain stood as a monument to the city's former peace. Bruce Banner stood in the center of the plaza, flanked by Obi-Wan and Anakin. 20 clone troopers formed a perimeter, their rifles ready but pointed down in accordance with truce protocols. Above them, Republic gunships circled at a respectful distance, their weapons systems active but not locked. On the opposite side of the plaza, Separatist battle droids marched into formation with mechanical precision. Behind them, a sleek diplomatic transport settled onto the cracked pavement, its boarding ramp descending with a pneumatic hiss. Count Dooku emerged, alone and unarmed by visible standards, though his lightsaber hung at his belt as both weapon and symbol of authority. He walked with the confidence of aristocracy, his elegant robes somehow remaining pristine despite the dust and destruction around him. "General Kenobi," Dooku said pleasantly, as if greeting an old friend. "How delightful to see you again, and young Skywalker. Still wrestling with that temper, I trust?" Anakin's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Obi-Wan stepped forward slightly, placing himself between Dooku and Banner. "You requested this meeting, Count," Obi-Wan said coldly. "State your business." "So direct. You wound me, Obi-Wan. We were master and apprentice once, were we not?" One might expect a modicum of civility. Dooku's eyes moved past him to Bruce. "But you're quite right. I'm here for Dr. Banner, not nostalgic reminiscence." Bruce felt the Hulk stir within him, a low rumble of warning. The man before him exuded danger, though Bruce couldn't have said how he knew. It was something in the way Dooku moved, the calculated coldness behind his cultured exterior. "You said you could send me home," Bruce said, stepping forward despite Obi-Wan's restraining hand. "How?" "Straight to the point. I appreciate that." Dooku gestured and a holographic projector droid rolled forward from the Separatist lines. It activated, displaying a complex three-dimensional model of what appeared to be a dimensional rift. "Our scientists have analyzed the energy signature of your arrival. The dimensional breach that brought you here left a unique quantum resonance, a fingerprint, if you will. With the proper equipment and calculations, we can recreate that breach and send you back to your point of origin." Bruce's scientific mind immediately engaged, analyzing the hologram with practiced expertise. "That's a Klein-Kaluza dimensional fold model. Theoretical on my world, but you're showing it as functional. The energy requirements would be astronomical. We're talking stellar-scale power generation. The Separatist Alliance has resources the Republic lacks," Dooku replied smoothly. "Corporate backers with access to experimental technology. The Trade Federation alone operates power generation facilities that could meet your requirements. More importantly, we have scientists who aren't constrained by Jedi dogma or Republic ethical oversight. They're free to pursue any solution, no matter how unconventional." "And what do you want in exchange?" Bruce asked, though he already knew the answer. "Your cooperation." Dooku's smile was thin. "Nothing more sinister than that. While our scientists work on the dimensional gateway, a process that will take several weeks, perhaps months, we ask that you remain with us, protected, housed, given access to any resources you require for your own research. And if, during that time, the Republic should attack our facilities..." He spread his hands in a gesture of reasonableness. "Well, self-defense is understandable, is it not?" "You want me to be your living shield," Bruce said flatly. "And probably your weapon when it's convenient." "I want to offer you what the Jedi cannot," Dooku corrected. "The Jedi will tell you about duty and service to the greater good. They'll speak of the Force and balance and other mystical nonsense that means nothing to a man of science. But I offer you something tangible. A way home, a cure for your condition, freedom from a war that isn't yours. Obi-Wan stepped forward. Don't listen to him, Dr. Banner. Count Dooku is a Sith Lord and a master manipulator. Every word is calculated to— I'm not an idiot, Bruce interrupted, surprising everyone. I know manipulation when I hear it. I've dealt with General Ross, with S.H.I.E.L.D., with every government agency on Earth that wanted to weaponize the Hulk. Count Dooku isn't offering me freedom. He's offering me a different cage. He turned to face the Sith Lord directly. But here's what concerns me. You're the first person in this galaxy who's talked to me like I have a choice. The Jedi have been kind, but they're still deciding what to do with me. The Republic sees a strategic asset. You, at least, are honest about wanting to use me. Refreshing, isn't it? Dooku's smile widened. Honesty is so rare in wartime. Which is why I don't trust you, Bruce continued. But I'm also not naive enough to ignore the fact that you might actually be able to send me home. So here's my counteroffer. Show me your research. Let me verify that you actually have scientists working on dimensional theory and that they understand what they're doing. If it's legitimate, if there's a real chance of getting home, then we can talk about what comes next. Dooku's expression flickered with something that might have been respect. You want proof before commitment. Reasonable. I accept your terms, Dr. Banner. I'll transmit our research data to a neutral server where you can access and verify it at your leisure. You'll find it quite thorough. And if I determine you're lying, then you've lost nothing but time. But ask yourself this, Doctor. If the Republic truly has your best interests at heart, why haven't they offered to help you find a way home? They have scientists too, research facilities, access to the galaxy's accumulated knowledge. Yet they've made no such offer, have they? The words hit Bruce like a physical blow because they were true. No one had mentioned trying to send him home. The Jedi had talked about controlling his anger, managing his transformations, making him safe to be around. But no one had said, let's get you back where you belong. That's because we've been dealing with immediate threats, Anakin interjected, his voice tight with anger. Bruce has been here less than a day. We haven't had time to consider his needs over your strategic advantage, Dooku finished. Please, Skywalker, don't insult the man's intelligence with transparent excuses. Bruce felt the Hulk's presence growing stronger in his mind. The anger, the frustration, the feeling of being trapped and manipulated from all sides. It was feeding the transformation. His heart rate was increasing, his skin beginning to tingle with the warning signs of gamma energy building. This meeting is over, Obi-Wan declared, sensing the danger. Dr. Banner, we need to leave. Now. Why? Dooku asked innocently. Are you afraid Dr. Banner might make his own informed decision rather than following Jedi guidance? I'm afraid, Obi-Wan said coldly, that you're deliberately trying to anger him, to trigger his transformation here in the neutral zone, where any violence would be blamed on the Republic's loss of control. Dooku's silence was admission enough. Bruce took a deep breath, fighting for control. You're both manipulating me. You're both trying to use the Hulk for your war. The only difference is that Dooku is honest about it. He looked at Obi-Wan, and there was profound disappointment in his eyes. I thought the Jedi were supposed to be better than this. We are trying to protect you, Obi-Wan insisted, and protect the galaxy from me, Bruce finished. From the monster I carry. That's what this is really about, isn't it? You're not trying to help me get home. You're trying to contain a threat." "That's not fair, Bruce," Anakin said. "We care about what happens to you as a person, not just—" The ground trembled. Everyone stopped, looking around for the source. It wasn't an explosion or an artillery strike. It was something else. General Grievous emerged from behind the Separatist transport, his mechanical footfalls causing the tremors. The cyborg general had clearly been listening to the entire conversation, waiting for his moment, his 4 arms spread wide, each hand holding an ignited lightsaber, trophies from murdered Jedi, their blades spinning in complex patterns. "Enough talk," Grievous rasped, his vocabulator adding menace to every word. "Count Dooku wants the monster. I want to see if it can die." "Grievous, stand down," Dooku commanded, but there was something calculated in his tone. This wasn't an accident. This was the next phase of his manipulation. "You want to trigger the transformation?" Obi-Wan said, his lightsaber igniting with a snap hiss. "Use Grievous to threaten Dr. Banner until he becomes the Hulk. Then blame the Republic for bringing him to the meeting." "Paranoid as always, old friend," Dooku replied, but he made no move to restrain his general. Grievous advanced on Bruce, lightsabers whirling. "Transform, little man. Show me the monster. Let me add your strength to my collection." Bruce backed away, hands raised. "I don't want to fight. I don't want anyone to get hurt." "Then you're in the wrong galaxy," Grievous snarled and lunged. Anakin moved to intercept, his blue blade clashing against Grievous's 4 sabers in a shower of sparks. Obi-Wan engaged from the other side, and suddenly the neutral zone erupted into combat. Clone troopers opened fire on battle droids. Separatist forces returned fire. The carefully maintained truce shattered in seconds, and in the middle of it all, Bruce Banner felt his controls slipping. "No," he whispered, "not here, not now." But the Hulk had different ideas. The Hulk was tired of being manipulated, tired of being treated like a weapon or a prize. The Hulk was angry, and when the Hulk got angry, everyone suffered. Bruce's eyes flashed green, his body began to expand, and Count Dooku, watching from a safe distance, smiled with cold satisfaction. Back on the resolute, Ahsoka watched the tactical display with growing horror. "Master Yoda, the neutral zone is compromised. We have full combat engagement, and Dr. Banner is transforming in the middle of it." The small green Jedi Master stood before the holographic display, his ears drooping slightly. "Foreseen this, I did not. Dangerous this Hulk is. More dangerous still when manipulated by both sides he becomes." "Should we send reinforcements?" Admiral Yularen asked. "No," Yoda said firmly. "More soldiers, more violence. Feed the Hulk's power this will. Remove our forces we must. Let the Separatists face what they have unleashed." "But Master Kenobi and General Skywalker are down there. Trust in the Force we must, and hope that Dr. Banner, within the monster, still remembers who his true enemies are." On the surface, Grievous's mechanical eyes widened as the transformation completed. The Hulk stood before him, even larger than before, muscles swollen with rage, eyes burning with gamma-green fire. "You want to see monster?" the Hulk rumbled. "Hulk, show you monster!" What happened next would be spoken of in fearful whispers across the galaxy for years to come. The day a green giant taught the Separatist Alliance and the Republic that some forces couldn't be controlled, manipulated, or weaponized. They could only be survived. The Hulk's roar shattered windows in buildings half a kilometer away. The sheer force of it, rage given sonic form, sent battle droids stumbling backward and made even the disciplined clone troopers flinch. But General Grievous, 4 lightsabers spinning in defensive patterns, stood his ground. Finally, the cyborg general hissed, "A worthy opponent." Grievous attacked with the speed and precision that had made him the terror of the Jedi Order. His 4 blades moved in a deadly dance, each lightsaber striking from a different angle, creating a wall of plasma that could overwhelm even master-level duelists. The attack would have killed any organic being in seconds. The Hulk caught 2 of the lightsabers with his bare hands. The plasma blades burned against his palms, skin charring and smoking. But the Hulk's healing factor worked faster than the damage could accumulate. He squeezed and the lightsaber hilts crumpled like aluminum cans. The kyber crystals inside overloaded with a high-pitched whine before exploding in small bursts of energy. Grievous's mechanical eyes flickered with something that might have been surprise, or recalculation. He struck with his remaining 2 blades, targeting the Hulk's eyes, his throat, vulnerable points that had worked on other seemingly invincible opponents. The Hulk took a lightsaber strike across his chest. The blade carved a burning line through green skin, cauterizing as it cut. For any other being, it would have been fatal. For the Hulk, it was an annoyance that healed within seconds, new tissue growing over the burn scar. "Hulk getting angry now!" The green giant's fist caught Grievous in his torso, with a sound like a freight train hitting a wall. The cyborg general's duranium chassis, designed to withstand anti-vehicle weapons, cracked. Grievous flew backward, crashing through 3 ruined buildings before finally stopping in a cloud of dust and debris. Obi-Wan and Anakin had disengaged from their own opponents, recognizing that the real battle was beyond their ability to influence. They watched as Grievous extracted himself from the rubble, 2 of his limbs hanging at unnatural angles, his remaining lightsabers reigniting with mechanical determination. "We need to get everyone out of here," Obi-Wan said urgently. "The Hulk doesn't distinguish between friend and enemy when he's this enraged." "Agreed," Anakin replied, already speaking into his comlink. "All Republic forces fall back to extraction points. Leave the Separatists to their mistake." Count Dooku watched from his elevated position atop the diplomatic transport, his expression unreadable. The Hulk was more powerful than even his intelligence had suggested, immune to lightsabers fast enough to catch them mid-strike, strong enough to damage supposedly indestructible materials. And he was getting stronger with each passing second, feeding on the ambient violence of the battle. "Magnificent," Dooku murmured, "but also uncontrollable, which means useless." Grievous charged again, this time employing grappling tactics instead of blade work, his mechanical limbs wrapped around the Hulk, trying to lock him in a submission hold that had crushed the spines of Wookiee warriors. The Hulk simply flexed, and Grievous's arms bent backward against their joints. "Metal man not strong enough," the Hulk declared, grabbing Grievous by the head with one massive hand. He began to squeeze. The cyborg general's photoreceptors cracked. His vocabulator emitted distorted sounds. For the first time in his mechanical existence, Grievous experienced something he'd never felt before, genuine fear of physical defeat. "Count Dooku!" Grievous's damaged voice called out. "Extraction! Now!" Dooku raised his hand, and force lightning erupted from his fingertips. The blue-white energy arced across the plaza, striking the Hulk directly in the chest. It was power sufficient to kill ordinary beings, to torture Jedi, to reduce droids to scrap. The Hulk felt it, felt the electricity coursing through his body, the pain sharp and unexpected. He released Grievous, who scrambled away with his damaged limbs and turned his full attention to Dooku. "You hurt Hulk!" The Hulk leapt, clearing 200 meters in a single bound, his trajectory aimed directly at the Sith Lord. Dooku's eyes widened fractionally, the only sign of alarm he would permit himself. And he unleashed another torrent of Force lightning, this time at full power. The Hulk crashed through the energy like it was rain, his momentum barely slowed. Dooku's elegant form rolled aside at the last second, the Hulk's impact cratering the transport and reducing the sophisticated vessel to twisted metal. "Interesting," Dooku said, already calculating revised strategies. "Physical force undiminished. The Force cannot control you, but it can still harm you. Useful knowledge." He gestured, and every battle droid in the vicinity opened fire simultaneously. Hundreds of blaster bolts converged on the Hulk from all directions. The green giant's skin absorbed the impacts, each bolt causing a flash of pain but no lasting damage. Still, pain accumulated, anger accumulated. The Hulk stomped his foot and the ground split. A shockwave rippled outward, knocking droids off their feet and sending Dooku stumbling. Before the Sith Lord could recover, the Hulk was there, his massive hand closing around Dooku's throat. "You hurt, Hulk. You make Banner sad. You lie to Banner about going home." Each word was punctuated by tightening pressure. "Hulk smash liars." For a moment, Count Dooku, master duelist, Sith Lord, one of the most dangerous beings in the galaxy, hung helpless in the Hulk's grasp. His lightsaber was useless at this range. The Force could harm but not stop the creature, his carefully laid plans reduced to nothing by raw, unstoppable power. Then Obi-Wan's voice cut through the rage. Bruce Banner, listen to me." The Hulk's head turned, Dooku still dangling from his fist. Obi-Wan stood 30 meters away, his lightsaber deactivated, hands raised in a gesture of peace. "This isn't you, Bruce," Obi-Wan continued, his voice calm despite the chaos. "I know you can hear me in there. You don't want to kill him. Once you cross that line, once the Hulk takes a life, it becomes easier to take the next one. Don't let Dooku's manipulation turn you into the monster he wants you to be." The Hulk's grip loosened slightly. Deep in the gamma-irradiated consciousness, Bruce Banner was fighting for control, using Obi-Wan's words as an anchor. "He lied," the Hulk growled, but his voice was quieter, more confused. "Said he'd help Banner go home, but it was trick, always trick with Banner." "Yes, he lied," Obi-Wan agreed, "but killing him won't get you home. It will just prove to everyone in this galaxy that you're exactly what they fear. Uncontrollable, dangerous, better off destroyed than reasoned with." The Hulk looked at Dooku, who had stopped struggling, conserving his strength. "Hulk should destroy you," the green giant said, bringing the Sith Lord closer to his face. "Should smash you like metal men, but..." He hesitated. "Banner say no killing. Banner say that make Hulk bad." "The Hulk isn't bad," Obi-Wan said gently. "He's protecting Bruce. That's not evil, that's survival." But there's a difference between protection and murder. The Hulk's eyes flickered between green fire and something almost human. With a disgusted snort, he threw Dooku away from him, not with killing force, but enough to send the Sith Lord tumbling across the plaza to land in a heap near his droid forces. "Hulk not killer," the green giant announced to everyone present. "Hulk protector." Dooku climbed to his feet with as much dignity as he could muster, activating his lightsaber in case of another attack. But the Hulk had already turned away, his massive form shrinking slightly as some of the rage dissipated. "Interesting restraint," Dooku observed, nursing his bruised throat. "Dr. Banner's influence is stronger than anticipated. Grievous, we're leaving. Inform the Separatist Council that Project Gamma is suspended indefinitely. The asset cannot be acquired." "But my lord," Grievous began, his damaged form struggling to stand. "Now, General, before the creature changes his mind." The Separatist forces retreated with surprising speed, loading onto transport ships and disappearing into the atmosphere. Within minutes, the plaza was empty, except for Republic forces and one very confused, very angry Hulk. Ahsoka approached cautiously, her lightsabers deactivated but ready. "Hulk, can you understand me?" The Hulk looked down at her, his expression softening slightly. "Little orange girl with white marks, Banner like you." "Banner's my friend," Ahsoka said. "And so are you, Hulk. You saved everyone just now. You could have killed Count Dooku, but you didn't. That was brave." "Hulk brave?" The concept seemed to confuse him. People always say Hulk scary. Hulk monster. "You can be both," Anakin interjected, stepping forward to stand beside his Padawan. "Brave and scary, strong and kind. The two aren't mutually exclusive." The Hulk considered this with the slow deliberation of a being processing complex ideas through pure instinct. Banner always afraid of Hulk, but maybe Banner wrong. Maybe Hulk not just smash. "I think," Obi-Wan said carefully, "that you and Bruce need to talk, really talk, understand each other instead of fighting for control." "How?" the Hulk asked, genuine curiosity in his voice. "Hulk and Banner both in same head, can't talk to self." "On our world, we use meditation," Obi-Wan explained. "But for you, I think we need something different. Something that lets Bruce and the Hulk communicate as equals, not adversaries." Before the conversation could continue, Republic gunships descended, their pilots reporting another wave of Separatist forces inbound, this time a full invasion fleet, apparently enraged by Grievous's defeat. The Hulk's eyes narrowed, scanning the sky. "More metal men coming?" "Yes," Anakin confirmed. "A lot of them, too many for our forces to handle alone." A slow smile spread across the Hulk's face, not a grimace of rage, but something almost joyful. "Good. Hulk likes smashing metal men. Metal men can't die, so Hulk not have to hold back." "Wait," Bruce Banner's voice emerged from the Hulk's mouth, the consciousness surfacing briefly. "You want to help? Voluntarily?" "Hulk protect friends," the Green Giant rumbled. "Orange Girl is friend. Beard Man is friend. Even angry Metal Hand Man is sort of friend. Friends fight together." Obi-Wan and Anakin exchanged glances, both recognizing the significance of what had just happened. The Hulk, the creature they'd feared and tried to control, had just chosen a side, not because he was manipulated or coerced, but because he'd decided these people were worth protecting. "Then we fight together," Obi-Wan agreed. "But on one condition, you follow our tactical directions. Can you do that?" The Hulk considered this. "Hulk, follow directions. If directions involve smashing." "I think we can arrange that," Anakin said with a grin. As the Separatist fleet descended on Christophsis, the Republic forces prepared for what would become one of the most legendary battles of the Clone Wars. Not because of brilliant strategy or heroic Jedi feats, but because of a green giant who decided that sometimes the best way to protect people was to smash their enemies so thoroughly that they'd think twice about coming back. High above, in a cloaked observation vessel, Darth Sidious watched through powerful sensors, his yellow eyes gleaming with dark satisfaction. "Excellent," the Sith Lord murmured. "Count Dooku failed to recruit the weapon, but he succeeded in revealing something far more valuable. The Hulk's weakness. Not physical, the creature has none, but emotional. The monster craves acceptance, friendship, belonging, and beings who crave such things. His smile was cold and calculating. Can always be manipulated, just not by Dooku's crude methods. The observation vessel disappeared into hyperspace, leaving behind a battle that would change the course of the war and forge an unlikely alliance between a Jade Knight of the Jedi Order and a Gamma-powered force of nature who just wanted to be understood. The Separatist invasion fleet descended on Christophsis like a swarm of metallic predators, 3 frigates, 2 corvettes, and a carrier deploying wings of vulture droids and tri-fighters. Their objective was simple: reclaim the planet, destroy the Republic foothold, and capture or eliminate the creature that had humiliated General Grievous. On the ground, clone troopers established defensive positions around the Republic Command Center. Artillery batteries powered up, their targeting systems locking onto incoming vessels. LAT gunships launched from the Resolute, forming protective screens around key installations. And in the center of the main plaza, the Hulk stood with arms crossed, watching the sky with an expression of anticipation. "They're deploying ground forces," Rex reported, his macro binoculars tracking multiple landing craft. Gooswan 1200 battle droids plus heavy armor, spider droids, AATs, hailfire droids. They're bringing everything. "Then we'll need everything too," Anakin replied, his tactical mind already working through scenarios. "Rex, pull back your men to secondary defensive positions. Let the droids advance into the plaza." "Sir?" Rex's confusion was evident. "That gives them the high ground and puts them exactly where the Hulk wants them," Anakin finished. "Trust me on this." Obi-Wan approached the Hulk cautiously, still not entirely comfortable addressing a 9-foot-tall green giant as if he were a fellow soldier. "Hulk, can you understand the tactical situation? We need you to—" "Hulk, understand," the green giant interrupted, his voice calmer than before. "Metal men land, metal men advance, then Hulk smash. Simple." "Actually, that's remarkably accurate," Obi-Wan admitted. "But try to avoid damaging our own forces. The clone troopers are on our side." "White armor men, Hulk remember, Hulk be careful." The first wave of landing craft touched down 2 kilometers away. Their boarding ramps dropped and battle droids began marching out in precise formation. B-1s in the front, B-2 super battle droids behind them, and the massive spider droids bringing up the rear. Ahsoka watched through her macro binoculars, her tactical training warring with disbelief at what they were planning. "Master, are we really going to let the Hulk fight this alone?" "Not alone," Anakin corrected. "We'll provide support, but the Hulk is, well, he's a strategic asset that operates best without conventional military tactics getting in his way." "You mean he fights better when he can just smash things without worrying about formations or friendly fire?" Ahsoka translated. "Exactly." The droid army advanced with mechanical efficiency, their sensors identifying Republic positions, calculating firing solutions, coordinating attack patterns with droid precision. Their commanders, a trio of tactical droids, analyzed the battlefield and determined the optimal route, straight through the plaza where one massive green creature stood alone. "Unusual deployment," one tactical droid observed. "Enemy has placed single large unit in open terrain. Analysis, trap, bait, or they've given up trying to control him and decided to aim him at us," another tactical droid concluded. "Irrelevant. Probability calculations indicate that even an exceptionally durable unit cannot withstand concentrated fire from 1,200 combat droids. Proceed with elimination." The droid army opened fire, blaster bolts from 1,000 rifles converged on the Hulk, a storm of red energy that would have vaporized buildings, melted durasteel, reduced any ordinary being to atoms. The Hulk stood in the center of that maelstrom, his body absorbing impacts that made his skin glow from the heat, each bolt of energy adding to his pain and therefore his anger. His roar shook the battlefield. "Hulk smash!" he charged, not with the mindless fury of before, but with calculated aggression, Bruce's intelligence guiding the Hulk's instincts. He grabbed a piece of rubble the size of a small vehicle and hurled it with precision, taking out an entire squad of B-1s. His next leap carried him directly into a formation of super battle droids, his fists becoming hammers that pulverized uranium armor. A spider droid targeted him, its main cannon charging. The Hulk grabbed the barrel as it fired, redirecting the beam straight up into the sky. Then he ripped the cannon free and used it as a club, swinging it in wide arcs that sent droids flying in pieces. "Remarkable," Obi-Wan murmured, watching through the command center's tactical display. "He's not just destroying them, he's using strategy, targeting command units first, disrupting their formation, using their own weapons against them." "Banners in there," Anakin observed, "helping." The Hulk's strength with a scientist's tactical mind. That's what makes him truly dangerous. On the battlefield, the tactical droids attempted to adapt. They spread their forces, created crossfire positions, deployed heavy weapons designed to penetrate deflector shields. None of it mattered. The Hulk was too fast, too strong, too angry to be stopped by conventional tactics. An AAT tank fired its main cannon point blank. The energy bolt hit the Hulk in the chest, driving him back 3 steps, the first time anything had visibly moved him. The Hulk looked down at the scorch mark, then back at the tank. Oh, the tank's droid operator managed before the Hulk grabbed the vehicle by its turret and flipped it completely over. He then used the overturned tank as a shield against other incoming fire, advancing behind it like a mobile fortress. Ahsoka laughed despite herself. "He's using a tank as a shield. That's actually brilliant." The Separatist commanders in orbit watched their ground forces being systematically demolished. 1,200 combat droids, reduced to scrap in less than 15 minutes. Their tactical models couldn't compute it. No single unit should possess this much destructive capacity. "Deploy the Hailfire droids," the command ship's droid captain ordered. "Heavy, sustained missile bombardment. If we cannot kill the creature, we'll bury it under rubble." 6 Hailfire droids, enormous wheeled platforms carrying dozens of missiles each, rolled into the plaza. Their launchers elevated, locking onto the Hulk's position. They fired simultaneously, filling the air with hundreds of tracking missiles. The Hulk saw them coming. For a moment, uncertainty crossed his face. Too many targets, too fast, too coordinated. Then he felt it, a presence at the edge of his consciousness. Banner offering a solution. "Hulk, clap!" The green giant brought his hands together with all his strength. The resulting shock wave was visible, a wall of compressed air and sound that expanded outward at supersonic speed. Every missile in flight detonated simultaneously, creating a sphere of explosions that engulfed the entire plaza. When the smoke cleared, the Hulk stood in a crater, his body smoking but already healing. The Hailfire droids had been thrown onto their sides by the shockwave, their missile pods damaged beyond use. In the command center, every sensor officer stared at their readings in disbelief. "Did he just," one clone began, "created a kinetic shockwave sufficient to prematurely detonate every missile in a 300-meter radius. Another finished. That's not possible. With the Hulk, Rex said, a note of respect entering his voice. I'm learning that not possible doesn't mean much. But the battle was far from over. The Separatist fleet in orbit, recognizing that ground forces were ineffective, made a calculated decision. If they couldn't kill the creature, they'd destroy the entire battlefield. Orbital bombardment authorized, the fleet commander transmitted. Target coordinates, Republic Command Center and surrounding plaza. Eliminate all Republic forces and the anomalous creature simultaneously. Obi-Wan's console lit up with urgent warnings. They're targeting us from orbit. Turbo laser bombardment in 90 seconds. Evacuate, Anakin ordered. All personnel to emergency transports, now. But there wasn't time. 90 seconds to evacuate an entire command center. To move hundreds of personnel to safety. They'd lose half their forces at minimum, possibly more. The Hulk felt it too, sensed the danger coming from above, the massive energy signatures of charging weapons in the sky. He looked at the command center, at the people scrambling to escape, at the white-armored soldiers who'd fought beside him. Friends. They were his friends now. No, the Hulk bellowed. Hulk, protect friends. He crouched, every muscle in his massive body tensing. Then he jumped. The leap carried him almost into orbit, high enough to see the curvature of Christophsis below, high enough to reach the Separatist frigates as they prepared to fire. His trajectory was perfect, Bruce's calculations combined with the Hulk's power, and he crashed into the nearest frigate's hull. Like a green meteor, the impact cratered the ship's armor. The Hulk grabbed onto the hull and began tearing into it, his hands ripping through durasteel plating to reach the interior. Alarms shrieked throughout the vessel as hull integrity warnings flashed red. Hostile has breached outer hull, a droid officer reported. It's the creature. It's on our ship. Impossible, the ship's captain responded. Nothing organic can survive. The Hulk punched through the bridge viewport, shattering transparasteel designed to withstand micrometeorite impacts. Explosive decompression pulled everything not secured towards the breach, including the ship's command crew. The Hulk climbed inside, his body adapting to the vacuum through sheer gamma-powered resilience. He found what he was looking for, the ship's main power coupling, glowing with contained energy. The Hulk grinned, a terrifying expression in the vacuum of space, and grabbed the coupling with both hands. Hulk, strongest there is! He ripped the coupling free. The frigate's power died instantly, turbo lasers going dark, shields collapsing, life support failing. The ship began listing, falling out of formation as its orbit decayed. But the Hulk wasn't finished. He used the dying ship as a launching platform, leaping to the next frigate, then the next. Each ship he boarded became another target for his rage, another source of protection removed from the Separatist fleet. On the ground, clone troopers and Jedi watched in stunned silence as one by one, the orbital bombardment platforms went dark. He's destroying their entire fleet, Ahsoka whispered, by himself, in space. Not destroying, Obi-Wan corrected, his eyes tracking the Hulk's movements through enhanced sensors. Disabling. He's removing their weapons' capability without killing the crews. Bruce's influence is still there, even in the vacuum of space, even in the heat of battle. The Hulk is choosing restraint. The last functional Separatist ship, the carrier, made the only logical decision. Retreat. Its hyperdrive engaged and it vanished into hyperspace, abandoning the disabled frigates and their crews to Republic capture. The Hulk, floating amid the disabled vessels, felt his anger subsiding. Without enemies to fight, without friends to protect, the rage that fueled his transformation began to ebb. His body started to shrink. "No, no, no," Bruce's voice emerged as the transformation reversed. "Not here, not in space, I can't," but it was too late. Bruce Banner, fully human and completely vulnerable, materialized in the vacuum of space. His lungs tried to draw breath that wasn't there. His blood began to boil from the pressure differential. Consciousness fled in seconds. On the Resolute, Captain Rex was already moving. "Emergency retrieval. Lock tractor beam on those coordinates and pull him in now." The tractor beam caught Bruce's tumbling form and pulled him toward the ship's emergency airlock. Medical teams stood ready as the outer door sealed and atmosphere flooded the chamber. By the time they reached him, Bruce was clinically dead. No heartbeat, no respiration, extensive cellular damage from vacuum exposure. The medical droids began emergency procedures: cardiac stimulation, oxygen flooding, neural stabilization. For 5 minutes, they worked with mechanical efficiency while Jedi and clone troopers watched in tense silence. Then Bruce's eyes snapped open, glowing green for just an instant before fading to normal brown. He gasped, drawing air into restored lungs, his healing factor having kicked in even during clinical death. "The Hulk," Bruce managed. Did we? "You saved everyone," Anakin told him, kneeling beside the medical table. "The Hulk saved everyone, disabled an entire fleet without killing anyone. That was incredible, Bruce. And nearly killed you in the process." Obi-Wan added more pragmatically, "Dr. Banner, your healing abilities are remarkable, but they have limits. You cannot keep pushing yourself and the Hulk to such extremes." Bruce laughed weakly. "Tell that to the Hulk. He doesn't understand limits." "Perhaps," Obi-Wan said thoughtfully, "that's precisely what we need to teach him." 3 days after the Battle of Christophsis, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant convened an emergency session. The High Council chamber, a circular room with spectacular views of the galactic capital, filled with holographic projections of Jedi Masters scattered across the galaxy. Some appeared in full color, others as flickering blue ghosts, but all bore expressions of grave concern. Bruce Banner stood in the center of the chamber, feeling distinctly out of place in his borrowed Republic clothing. Around him sat or stood the most powerful Force users in the galaxy: Yoda, Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and others whose names he barely remembered. Obi-Wan and Anakin flanked him, not quite guards but clearly present as character witnesses. "Dr. Banner," Mace Windu began, his deep voice carrying authority that needed no Force enhancement. "We've reviewed the reports from Christophsis, the destruction you caused, the Separatist forces you defeated, the fleet you disabled single-handedly." He leaned forward slightly. "You are, without question, the most powerful being we've encountered who exists outside the Force's influence, which presents the Jedi Order with a difficult question. What do we do with you?" Bruce had expected this, had spent 3 days anticipating it, dreading it, preparing arguments that now seemed inadequate. "I'm not asking you to do anything with me. I'm asking you to help me find a way home. To a dimension we cannot verify exists," Ki-Adi-Mundi interjected. "Using technology and science that may be beyond even our most advanced researchers. The resources required would be substantial, Dr. Banner. Resources we need for the war effort." "So the answer is no." Bruce's hands clenched at his sides. "You're keeping me here, using me." "Peace seek we must," Yoda said, his ancient voice somehow soothing despite the tension. "Accusations help no one, they do not. Truth must we speak, however difficult. Dr. Banner, powerful you are, dangerous also. The Hulk, control he gains, but volatile he remains. In a galaxy at war, such volatility risks great harm." "Then help me control it better," Bruce argued. "You have techniques for managing anger, for finding inner peace. The Jedi way, surely that could help both me and the Hulk." "The Jedi way is built on the Force," Mace Windu replied. "You have no connection to it. Our meditation techniques, our training methods, all rely on feeling and directing the Force. For you, they would be useless." "But perhaps not for the Hulk," Obi-Wan interjected, drawing surprised looks from the Council. "Masters, I've been considering Dr. Banner's unique situation. The Hulk is not simply rage given form. He's a separate consciousness with his own thoughts, emotions, and capacity for growth. During the battle, he demonstrated restraint, tactical thinking, even compassion. He chose to disable rather than destroy, to protect rather than simply attack." "Your point, Master Kenobi?" Mace Windu asked. "My point is that we've been approaching this wrong. We've been trying to suppress the Hulk to help Bruce control or contain him. But what if the solution isn't control, it's cooperation? What if Bruce and the Hulk need to become partners rather than adversaries?" "A fascinating theory," Plo Koon's calm voice added. "But how would you implement it? The two consciousnesses exist within the same body, fighting for dominance. How does one facilitate dialogue between aspects of a fractured psyche?" "I may have a solution," said a new voice. Everyone turned to see a female Jedi entering the chamber, tall with distinctive blue and white striped headtails and warm brown eyes. She bowed respectfully to the Council. "Master Shakti," Yoda acknowledged, "invited you to this session. I did not. Forgive my intrusion, Master Yoda, but I've been following Dr. Banner's case with great interest. My people, the Togruta, have a tradition that may be relevant. We call it the Akul meditation, a practice designed to help warriors integrate their aggressive instincts rather than suppress them." Bruce felt a flicker of hope. Integration instead of suppression? Precisely. Shakti moved to stand before him, her expression kind but assessing. "Dr. Banner, you view the Hulk as a monster, a curse, something to be controlled or eliminated. But what if he's neither monster nor curse? What if he's simply a part of you that you've never properly understood?" "He destroys everything he touches," Bruce said bitterly. "How is that something to integrate?" "Because destruction can be protective," Shakti replied. "A mother destroying threats to her children. A soldier destroying enemies to save comrades. The Hulk destroys, yes, but observe what he chooses to destroy. Those who threaten you, who threaten those you care about. That's not random violence. That's protection expressed through overwhelming force." Bruce opened his mouth to argue, then stopped. The Hulk had destroyed General Ross's equipment because it threatened Bruce, had destroyed battle droids because they attacked first, had disabled the Separatist fleet because it threatened his friends. Every act of violence had been reactive, defensive. "But he enjoys it," Bruce said weakly. "The destruction, the violence. Because the Hulk is your anger, and anger feels good when you've spent a lifetime suppressing it," Shakti said gently. "Bruce Banner is brilliant, controlled, rational, everything you needed to be to survive. But all that rage you've buried, all that pain and frustration had to go somewhere. The gamma radiation didn't create the Hulk, it gave him form. The words hit Bruce like a physical blow. Years of therapy, of scientific analysis, of trying to understand his condition. And this Jedi he'd just met had cut straight to the heart of it in 30 seconds. "If I accept that," Bruce said slowly, "if I accept the Hulk as part of me, rather than a curse, what changes?" "Everything," Shakti replied, "and nothing. The Hulk will still transform when you're threatened or angry, but instead of fighting for control, you work together. Instead of Banner suppressing Hulk or Hulk overwhelming Banner, you become a unified consciousness. The Hulk's strength with your intelligence, his instincts with your ethics." "The world breaker," Bruce whispered, remembering stories from his own comics, versions of the Hulk who'd achieved exactly this kind of integration. "That's what you're describing, not controlling the monster, but becoming something new." Mace Windu cleared his throat. "This is all theoretical. Master Shakti, can your Akul meditation actually achieve this integration?" "I don't know," Shakti admitted. "The Akul meditation is designed for Togruta psychology, for warriors who struggle with their predatory instincts. Dr. Banner's situation is unique, but I believe the principles are sound, and I'm willing to try." "And if it fails," Ki Adimundi pressed, "if the attempt to integrate causes a loss of control, we could be creating an even more dangerous situation." "Risk there always is," Yoda said, his eyes fixed on Bruce with ancient wisdom. "But greater risk in doing nothing, I sense. Dr. Banner, choose you must. Continue as you are. Banner and Hulk at war. Control temporary, peace impossible. Or try integration, risk great, but reward greater still." Bruce looked at his hands, imagining them green and massive, capable of tearing apart starships. The Hulk had saved everyone at Christophsis, had chosen restraint when he could have killed, had called the Jedi his friends. Maybe Shakti was right. Maybe it was time to stop fighting the Hulk and start listening to him. "I'll try," Bruce said. "I'll do the meditation, whatever it takes to make this—" He gestured at himself, "something other than a curse." "Then we have consensus," Mace Windu declared. "Master Shakti will work with Dr. Banner on his integration. In the meantime, we need to address the political situation." A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber, showing Chancellor Palpatine's official seal. "The Chancellor has requested a private audience with Dr. Banner," Mace Windu continued. "He's expressed interest in meeting the being who single-handedly defeated a Separatist fleet. We cannot refuse. The Chancellor is our commander-in-chief during this war, but we also cannot allow Dr. Banner to be manipulated or weaponized by political interests." Bruce felt the Hulk stir in his mind, a warning and instinctive distrust. "I don't want to meet with politicians. They always want the same thing, to turn me into a weapon." "Unfortunately," Obi-Wan said, "refusing the Supreme Chancellor would create political complications we can't afford. However, Anakin and I will accompany you. Nothing will happen that we don't approve." "Agreed," Mace Windu said. "But Dr. Banner, understand this. You are not a soldier in the Grand Army of the Republic. You are not subject to military orders or political demands. The Jedi Order will protect your autonomy, but that protection only extends as far as you give us reason to trust you." "Meaning don't Hulk out and destroy the Senate building," Bruce translated. The faintest smile crossed Mace Windu's stern face. "Precisely." That evening, Bruce sat in the Jedi Temple's meditation gardens with Shakti. The space was peaceful. Artificial streams, carefully tended plants, the distant hum of Coruscant's eternal traffic, creating white noise that helped calm the mind. "Before we begin," Shakti said, settling into a lotus position, "I need you to understand what we're attempting. The Akul meditation isn't about suppressing your aggressive side. It's about acknowledging it, understanding it, and giving it a voice that doesn't require violence to be heard." "How does it work?" Bruce asked, sitting across from her. "For Togruta, we visualize our predatory instincts as the Akul, a dangerous beast from our homeworld. We imagine sitting with the Akul, not fighting it, just existing together, listening to what it needs. Usually, what it needs is to be acknowledged, respected, given purpose beyond just violence. And you think this will work for the Hulk? I think the Hulk needs the same thing every sentient being needs, to be understood." Shakti gestured for him to close his eyes. "Let's start simply. Instead of pushing the Hulk down when you feel him rising, I want you to invite him forward, consciously, deliberately, not to transform fully, but to let his consciousness come to the surface." Bruce's heart rate spiked at the suggestion. "If I let him forward, he might take over completely." "I'm here," Shakti assured him, "and you're safe. No threats, no danger. Let him come forward, Bruce. Trust him. Trust yourself." Bruce took a deep breath and did something he'd never deliberately done before. He stopped resisting, stopped pushing the Hulk down, stopped fighting for control. The Hulk's consciousness rose like a green tide. Bruce felt his perspective shift, felt the world through the Hulk's senses. Everything was sharper, more intense. His hearing picked up conversations hundreds of meters away. His sense of smell detected the unique scent of every being in the garden, and beneath it all, a constant awareness of threats, of danger, of things that might hurt Bruce and therefore must be destroyed. "Hello, Hulk," Bruce thought, directing the words inward. Banner let Hulk out. The response was immediate, surprised. "Not fighting, Hulk?" "Not fighting," Bruce confirmed. "I want to talk, really talk. No anger, no fear, just two parts of the same person trying to understand each other." There was a long pause. Then, "Banner always afraid of Hulk, always trying to make Hulk go away. Why change now?" "Because I realized something," Bruce thought carefully. "You're not trying to hurt me, you're trying to protect me. Every time you come out, every time you fight, it's because you sense danger. You're not the monster I thought you were, you're my protector." The Hulk's consciousness swirled with confusion, surprise, and something that might have been hope. Hulk, protect Banner. Always. But Banner never thank Hulk. Banner hate Hulk. "I don't hate you," Bruce said, and realized as he said it that it was true. "I hate what you represent. I hate feeling out of control. But you, the Hulk, you've saved my life more times than I can count. You've saved others too. You're not a monster. You're a hero. Hulk, hero, yes, a hero, my hero." Bruce felt something shift, a fundamental realignment of their relationship. The Hulk's consciousness, instead of pressing against his for dominance, began to settle alongside it. Not fighting, not competing, just existing together. When Bruce opened his eyes, Shakti was watching him with an expression of quiet amazement. "Your eyes," she said softly, "they're glowing, very faintly, but there's definitely a green luminescence." Bruce looked at his hands. They were still human-sized, still his own. But he could feel the Hulk's strength just beneath the surface, ready but not demanding, powerful but controlled. "We talked," Bruce said, wonder in his voice. "Really talked. And he's He's still here, but he's not taking over. We're sharing this. Integration, Shakti confirmed. The first step of many, but perhaps the most important. How do you feel? Bruce considered the question carefully. Stronger, calmer. Like I've been carrying a weight I didn't realize I was carrying, and someone just helped me set it down. He paused. The Hulk is part of me. He always has been. I just needed to stop treating him like a disease and start treating him like a partner. Then we've made progress, Shakti said, smiling warmly. Tomorrow we'll work on maintaining this state during stress. Eventually you should be able to transform partially, accessing the Hulk's strength without losing yourself completely. A middle ground, Bruce said. Not fully Banner, not fully Hulk, but something between. Something new, Shakti agreed. Something this galaxy has never seen. As Bruce left the meditation garden, he felt the Hulk's presence in his mind, no longer a threat lurking in the shadows, but a companion walking beside him. And for the first time since the Gamma explosion that had created the Hulk, Bruce Banner felt something he'd thought he'd never feel again. Peace. But peace, as he would soon discover, was a luxury the galaxy at war could not afford.